Hi, my name is Greg McCoach, editor of the Mining Speculator. I've been invited today to do a webinar with Pure Gold, a high-grade gold discovery and soon to be in production story in Red Lake up in Canada. Red Lake's one of the top high-grade mining jurisdictions in the world, if not the most prolific in the world. There's been over 30 million ounces of gold produced up there. I've been involved recently with another discovery, as many of you know, called Great Bear Resources, which is how I came to originally meet Pure Gold. Their discovery was ahead of Great Bear, and in the process of doing my mine site visit, as I always do with these recommendations, I came across Pure Gold. So with that in mind, I'll just do an introduction on several things. I'm only going to take 5 to 6 minutes here. I'll be brief, but to the point on why I think gold is going higher. A little bit more about my connection to Pure Gold through the Great Bear Resources situation, and why I think Pure Gold makes sense as a growth story that has huge upside potential if you believe, as I do, that gold is going to much higher levels. So with that in mind, let me get started with the gold story, where gold is at right now and where I think it's going. First of all, gold's been in a pause, largely, I believe, because the powers that shouldn't be in this world, as I call them, the PTSB, have sat on gold, propping up the dollar for the U.S. elections. It's been a pause. We've had a good year. Gold's run to a new all-time high this past year, almost at $2,100 an ounce. We've backed off some now, but I believe gold is getting ready to launch to a much greater high, a new all-time high, probably in the first and second quarters of 2021. The primary reason I believe this is happening, there's a critical chart that I want to show everybody. It's the M1 money supply. And this is a chart of the last 11 years of M1 just in the US. And when governments and central banks turn to creating money the way they've been, we go through 3 distinct phases. And the first phase is the expansion phase or exponential phase of money growth. You see this in the chart. And then we get into the explosive phase, which has been the last basically 11 years, as shown in this chart, where where the currency being created, M1, is going up in an explosive manner. Well, just recently, within the last month, that chart has just gone parabolic. And this is a major thing to understand with regards to how a hyperinflation happens. So we've had the exponential and explosive phases. I believe we are now turning upward into the hyperinflationary phase. This is the end game. This is the death of money as we know it. And gold prices in this environment are going to go much higher. Now that this chart has gone parabolic, look at the money that's been created just in the last 9 months with the COVID situation, just in the US alone. Overall, $280 trillion of global debt exists today in our world. This is unsustainable in my view, and this chart that shows that the hyperinflationary phase has begun is real. This is going to be a big factor in what's coming. So I believe gold's going to much higher levels, certainly to a new high in the first quarter or two in 2021, but much higher after that. Another point I want to make using another chart to really expound on why I think gold prices are going to go much higher is the example of the German Weimar Republic during the 1919-1923 period, where gold went from 149 marks in 1919 to over 87 trillion marks by 1923. This shows you what happens during a hyperinflationary situation. Remember, I believe that we are just commencing our hyperinflationary phase in the world, a world with global debt of over $280 trillion, right? I mean, this is unsustainable. So gold is moving up, but gold is nowhere near its end game before this is all over. We are going to see crazy high gold prices, just like we saw, I believe, during the German Weimar Republic. So what does that mean for a gold company like Pure Gold? My whole take on Pure Gold was when I first got introduced to them, I was interested and I put them on my follow list because it was a great discovery and a high grade gold camp. I was in that camp for a mine site visit with Great Bear Resources. So I got introduced to the company and started to follow it. Unfortunately, I missed that opportunity. My newsletter is mostly focused on low early stage investment opportunities in exploration stocks like Great Bear that went from 32 cents to currently, $16 and change Canadian. So that was a big win for me. And, that's where the focus of my newsletter is. So a company like Pure Gold that made their discovery already, was moving up and was in the development phase, really isn't a stock that I follow too much. But now, with what I believe with higher gold prices, I believe the stock is undervalued for where I think it's going. When you understand the parameters of their discovery and how many ounces are going to be mined at such a high level of profit in the next 12 years, with this story, the combination of the higher gold prices, a bull market that will eventually morph into a super bull market for gold in the next 5 years, I think you have a combination of incredible value right now with Pure Gold as well. So I think what we're going to be is a situation where, as gold moves higher, these kind of growth-oriented stocks that still have plenty of exploration upside, like Pure Gold, they're going to be in a good position. The only knock I see on Pure Gold is the large number of shares outstanding, roughly 394 million. But it's understandable that they have this based on they've built their mine. They're getting ready to produce gold, pour their first gold pour here in December, shortly here in the next couple of weeks. So with that being said, I see them as a company that's going to make tremendous amounts of profit. And they'll have the option, if they want, to buy back some shares, take some shares out of the market instead of doing a rollback. I don't think the company needs to do that. I'm not advocating for that, but I do believe that they will be in a very solid position to buy some shares back. And that will be very good for their bottom line. Anyway, with that being said, I think I'll turn it over to the other presenters. Glad that I was invited to be here for you, and I will be live with you through the question and answer session in case you have any questions for me. Thanks for having me, everybody. Take care.